USA Sri Mataji, and if you're living in Thailand, Sawadee Cup, which is a greeting here. I'm Paul Winter. I got my realization about 1980, and I had many experiences with Mother over the 10 years that followed. Luckily, because I did quite a lot of video for Mother and I had the money to travel. So what I'm going to do is recount a few of my personal experiences with Mother. We called her Mother then. Now everybody calls her Sri Mataji, obviously, but we were affectionate. We called her Ma and we called her Mother, and that basically transformed itself over time. I won't go into my background too much about my realization, because that in itself is a story that will actually take quite a long time to narrate. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go straight into what happened when Mother came to Brighton for the first time. I lived in the south coast of the United Kingdom in a wonderful place called Brighton. I was busy working with a friend of mine called Hans Zimmer, who was busy making music, which he hoped to put into films. We now know that he did. So I did a lot of musical work and electronics work and stuff that I enjoyed doing. I didn't go to university, but I stayed with a lot of students. We had already had our realization and met Mother one or two times and invited her down to Brighton. I lived in a place along the Western Road called Silwood Terrace, where a friend of mine and I had converted this house, which we rented, into 3 kind of classrooms, very badly made with no fire protection or doors. But these classrooms were basically for students to sit learning English language. The EF school used them, so it was a little bit of pocket money. So we prepared one room in the main area for Mother to sit, and she came down with a few yogis from London. I think even then she had a little cream-coloured Mercedes, which she kept for many years, a lovely car. And Mother came upstairs, we had a few people, we put some posters up, as you do. And a few people turned up, I think probably about 20 to 30 people. So the nature of the realization and the story that went with it is as follows. Mother wanted to use one of her own anecdotal stories to demonstrate or illustrate what happens when a person gets their realization. Mother wanted to bring together the idea that a yogi, when he gets his realization, becomes like a magnet or a shining light that attracts things. So Mother told us about Sir CP. Well, he wasn't Sir CP then. Her husband, as she called him then, CP Srivastava, had a shipping company, as you probably know. And the shipping company had regular problems along one stretch of coastline in India, where the ships would be navigating in the channel, and then suddenly they would turn their course in the wrong direction and get run aground on the shoreline. And this went on quite often. They didn't really know why. And then one day somebody did some research on the nature of the mountain that was on the shoreline, and they discovered that it had a magnetic content. Now, I don't know whether it attracted the steel of the ships or just swung the compass, so the guy navigating in the ship turned the wheel in the wrong direction, thinking north was in a different place. But whatever happened, the attraction of this strong magnetic mountain made the ships fail in their navigation, and they crashed into the shore. So Mother likened it to having a yogi who had realization was starting to beam out this amazing energy and this amazing feeling, and other people, other ships, would be attracted to him or her. So that was the end of the story, but not the end of it. Actually, what happened? Mother went back down to look around Brighton, walk around Brighton Pier, enjoy the sea air, as we all did, as it was a wonderful place to live. I was there for quite a long time, actually. And Mother came often. So What happened next? Well, this is the really interesting thing. One night I was walking home along the seafront by the pier, the main pier. There's two piers there, by the main pier. And I noticed what looked like a tanker or some other kind of cargo ship with her front end pointed towards the beach, and a huge storm blowing up. And I noticed that the lights are out on this ship, and the white waves, I'll never forget it, the white waves with all sort of white foamy tops are crashing onto it. And it's slowly headed towards the pier, which was only about 100 meters away from where Mother had given the speech. And it slowly ground into the shore, crunching away. Then there was all sorts of pandemonium with the police coming and the Royal National Lifeboat people coming out. So I watched that for a bit. Nobody was hurt on the ship, and the ship crashed into the shore, and that was it. I went home, didn't think too much about it. I thought, oh, it's one of those things, a navigation problem. Quite sad. Then, the following day, a friend of mine said to me, do you know what that ship was called? I said, no. It's called the Athena B. And I went, you're kidding, because there is a goddess, the goddess Athena in Greek mythology. So what had happened was, as you can see from the research in Wikipedia, is that the ship had lost power, had a generator and all other sorts of problems, and it had completely conked out. And it came to the shore only a few hundred meters or so, I guess, from where Mother had given her first speech in Silwood Terrace in Weston Road. And so that was like a sort of statement, is that you're seeing the actions of the goddess. You're seeing things happen which have no explanation in the rational world. But in the spiritual world, these things have a meaning, a very deep meaning. So Mother arranges them just to give a kind of demonstration. So instead of getting sort of sparks and fireworks, you get these wonderful, wonderful sort of things happening. And I've seen a few of them. So that's this little short story about the Athena Bee and Mother's actual first ever meeting in Brighton. Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you. Bye-bye.